Welcome to the Thought Boss Podcast. This is your host, Nicole. I'm here to show you that all the help you need is already inside of you and that you're far more powerful than you give yourself credit for. I'm glad you're here. Now let's turn you into a thought boss.
Hey guys, so today I'm doing what feels like such a special episode because this is something that I have had to work through a lot on my own. So as you know, or you probably know, I'm a mom. I have 4 kids, which feels like a million kids. Also, by the way, if you're hearing noises, guess what? I am recording from my garage today. Isn't that fun? I normally have been recording from my closet, but I have such a good microphone that I feel like it picks up all the sounds. And my girls are currently watching a show in my room, which is connected to my closet. So I'm in the garage. It's great. I feel like it just gives you permission to work from wherever works for you. Anyway, I really wanted to do this episode today because I am one of those moms that constantly goes back and forth between like, I'm totally ruining my kids because I'm working and they're so sad and I'm ruining their lives, and back over to like, this is the best thing that I could ever do for my kids. Now, I think this is so important to know because we are like required, or there's this idea in society that just kind of goes around that essentially says like moms are supposed to do it all. One of my coaches said it so perfectly. She said if there was a dad who like had a job and had to work like 5-6 hours a day, and then afterwards like came home, like took his kids to the pool, made them lunches, like sat down, like spent intentional time with them, like we would call that dad a rock star dad. Like, wow, he's amazing. He's giving so much time to his family. He's like so attentive and so kind. And like, I wish my husband was just like him. Now, if it was a mom who was working 5 or 6 hours a day and then they took their kids to the pool and they made them lunch, we'd be like, oh my gosh, you're spending way too much time on your job. You should be spending all the time with your kids and be super attentive and get them everything they need. And I don't know why that is the picture, because even like throughout history, moms have never, like literally never been like supposed to be there like every second of their child's life. Like for most of the world's history, people have been still in survival mode. Like think about people in like the 1800s. Everybody's working. Every single human in the house is working. There's no rest. There's no shows. There's no popsicles. Like they're all just trying to survive. The mom is not just like sitting there like, so Jebediah, what do you want to do next? Like what sounds fun to you? No, she's like, come on, I have to like skin this deer so that we can eat it for dinner. Like moms have always worked, always, just because we're humans and it takes work to like create a life. And so now when we live in this age where we have a lot of luxuries and maybe it's not required that a woman works in some instances, like in order to keep us above the poverty line or to make sure that we're surviving. Like I'm not working like for my family's survival. Like we will figure out how to get food, how to have a house, how to live somewhere and be okay without me working. But what I am working for is something different. And that's great because we just have the luxury now of being able to work for a higher purpose. I am not just a body. Like our job is not just to take care of our physical selves. I also am a soul. I have this big desire to take care of my soul and the souls of my kids, and also like help the growth and the health and like the wellness and the love and the peace of other humans' souls. And I happen to have a gift of being amazing when it comes to helping people work through problems in their own mind. And we call that coaching, or at least I do. And I'm really, really good at it. And when I'm doing it, it feels amazing. It feels really fulfilling. And it literally is changing other people's lives and their families' lives and their friends. And the ripple effect is endless. And my most important work that I've decided is to love my kids. But guess what? Loving my kids does not mean I have to be with them 24/7. I just want you to play with this idea that maybe it's possible that your kids are going to turn out amazing or awful no matter what you do. Like, all 4 of my kids are so different. I don't know where they're going to end up. My mom also has 4 kids, and we are all very different. We're also 2 boys, 2 girls. I'm the oldest. My next brother is 2 years younger than me. Then I have a sister 8 years younger than me. And then I have a little brother who's 20 years younger than me. And we all have completely different experiences in life. And you might say, like, we have different failures and different successes, but like, we have had hard lives and also happy lives. And it had nothing to do with our mom and her like being home or not being home. Like, the most important things were there. We knew that she loved us. We knew that she was there for us. And that really is the indicator of how happy and successful I feel like people are, like well adjusted, is, do you have somebody that you trust? Do you have somebody in your life that you can go to when you need someone? I don't think it's like, okay, you're very fragile as a human and you're only going to survive if you have somebody right next to you all the time, showing you exactly what to think and exactly what to do, and making sure that every second of the day you know that you're so loved and like gonna be okay. Like, I really don't think our kids are that fragile. And trust me, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, this lady is crazy and awful and I feel so bad for her kids, trust me, I used to be you. In fact, before going viral was a thing, like on social media, I can't even believe I'm telling this story. I wrote a blog post. I'm not going to tell you the name of the blog. I don't think you'll be able to find it anyway. It doesn't matter. I wrote this blog post about how moms are supposed to be at home and we're not supposed to be working. And I know now that that was just my way of like feeling better about myself not being successful, because at that time I was also trying to start a business and it was not going well. And so this was my brain's way of trying to make me feel better, is by criticizing all the moms who wanted to do something besides be with their kids all day. And I also come from a really strong religious background where like 20 years ago, the women in my religion were still being told that like the best place for you to be is just in the home. Like, a career is not for you. Like that's like second option. Like, if you can't have kids, if you can't get married, like then have a career. But the most important thing is that you're home with your kids. And I think what's tricky is like, that's true, right? Like if I fail with my kids, like it doesn't really matter if I win in my business. But I think where we get mistaken is that we think that there's only one way to succeed with our kids. And it looks like being a Pinterest mom and having your house perfectly spotless all the time and having these perfect chore charts and being super organized and having a meal plan. And maybe if you have a little bit of extra time when the kids are sleeping, but it's not going to interfere with anything and they don't even know about it, maybe you can have like a little MLM business on the side, but also don't get in the way of spending time with your husband. Like, do you see how the narrative around like what women are supposed to do is very controlling? and very like precise on like there's only one right way to do this, and if you're not doing it this way, you're not doing it right. Like, what if we could just set you free right in this moment and we said you're just doing it right because you're you. Like, it's impossible for you to mess it up. Like, I really believe that we could let the narrative win that like women are just supposed to do one thing and it's supposed to look one way. And what that will do for our society is honestly set us back. I don't even know how far. And I do think that some of the progress that we made has been detrimental to our families. But I think for the most part, or at least some of the things that have come out of women's rights and women having a voice and women not getting spanked when they're bad anymore. Like, did you know that's a real thing? It's the weirdest thing. I follow this guy named Mr. Chaz on Instagram, and he's like a child discipline expert, and he posted this, it's like this whole post on women, like even in movies, just not that long ago, getting spanked by their husbands because they were out of line. And I was like, oh my gosh, like the view of women is so wrong and so outdated. And we don't even have to be spanked anymore. We just like offer ourselves a ton of guilt when we think that we're not doing it right. But I promise you, your thought, I'm not doing it right, as like the constant narrative behind everything that you were doing, is not serving you and it's not serving your family. In fact, it's really, really harmful. And you feel anxious and you feel stressed all the time. And when you're feeling anxious and stressed, guess what? You can't show up for your kids the way that you want to. You can't show up for yourself the way you want to, or your husband, or your community, or your people, or your friends, or your business. It's impossible. So my advice, as just an imperfect human, just from what I've learned, is to stop judging yourself and just decide right now, maybe I'm actually doing a great job. Maybe I'm totally killing it. Like, I'm an amazing mom, and it's very hard to mess that up. Like, probably the fact that I'm so concerned that I'm going to mess up my kids means that I'm probably not going to mess them up. All right, so that was a little bit on mom guilt. I want you to know that it's not serving you, it's not serving your business, and it's not serving your kids. But also we have this weird view of like what we're supposed to be like. Okay, now I have something to say about schedules, because we get so upset when we see another mom having a schedule, and we just instantly go into this place of like so much judgment. So this is a funny story. My best friend and I, when it was time for us to start summer, we were texting back and forth like, okay, we're going to set up this amazing schedule for our kids. We're going to have them do service every day, and they're going to do their chores, and then they can earn an hour of free time. And like, we just had it, Monday we do this, Tuesday we do this. Like, we go on adventures and we go to the pool and all this stuff. And we just thought, okay, like the schedule is going to save us this summer. It's going to feel so good to have a schedule. And I didn't even really get one day into my schedule before it totally fell apart. Like, I am just not a written down schedule kind of person. I'm more of like a do what you feel like doing right now kind of person, and do the important things when you're able to. And I know that that doesn't work for some people, but I want you to know, if you are not a schedule person, or if your kids are not schedule people, there is literally nothing wrong with you, and you can be super successful without a schedule. All that I do is I decide these things need to get done today. I'm going to give myself this amount of time to do them, which by the way is like a lot of time. And these are like the most important things. And if I get these things done, then I'm good. But I never decide that I'm only going to be successful if I get like this huge long list of things done. Because then that just sets me up for failure, and my brain just decides, all right, if you're not perfect, you can't be successful. And guess what? I'm never perfect. which means I would never be able to be successful. And then my brain doesn't look for successes, and then it doesn't create more successes. And that is really hard. So I just decided, all right, we're just not schedule people. And I'm going to teach my kids about schedules in case they are schedule people. Because some people are schedule people. And this is a principle that I've been teaching so much in my coaching lately, which is that all the tools that are around us are here to serve us, not the other way around. So when it comes to a written down schedule of everything that you're supposed to do this day, or a to-do list or anything, it is meant to serve you. Which means that if it's not serving you, you get to fire it. You get to be like, listen, this isn't a great partnership. I don't think it's working for us. Goodbye. Like, we're not doing this. You just get to decide, does this serve me or does this not serve me? And not, does this serve me in a way that like it turns me into like the kind of person that I want to be because only the Pinterest mom can be a good mom. No, like, does it serve who I am? Like, does this make me feel good about who I am? Does this serve like my personality type? Does it help me get things done in a way that feels good and happy and fun and productive, but like not guilty? If it's creating judgment, if it's creating fear, if it's creating guilt, I want you to give yourself permission to let go of it. Because for sure, it's not actually serving you. Those feelings, they never ever serve you. And I want you to know it's totally in your power and your control to decide what serves you and what doesn't. And if something else is serving somebody else, you just get to decide, all right, that's totally fine. I'm just not that kind of person. And I'm okay with that. And I'm really happy that that thing can serve this person, but it doesn't serve me. And that's okay because we're different people and we're different moms. This comes from a place of like, I just trust myself. If you don't feel like you trust yourself, if you're the kind of person who has to ask your mom, am I doing it right? Who has to constantly be calling somebody else or like crowdsourcing on Facebook or on Instagram or like in a group text, I want you to just cut that off for a day and see what happens if you started to ask yourself, what would I do if I already knew the answer? If I trusted myself, what would happen? So when it comes to like, if you were potentially to crowdsource this like summer, and you just asked Facebook, like, what do your guys' kids do during the summer? Like, I don't know how to keep mine busy. I know that that's coming from a place of like, I want to do this right, and I'm not good at it, and I don't believe in myself. And so if we took that question, what do I do with my kids this summer? Or what do I just do with my kids during the day? And we said, all right, I'm not allowed to ask anybody else, not allowed to ask my mom or my friends or strangers on the internet. I have to ask myself. And if I ask myself right now, I'm just thinking, I'm actually asking myself this. If I already knew the answer to this question, what do I think it would be? Nicole, what do you think you should do with your kids all day? And my answer would be something like, well, I'm not going to tell you because I want you to think about what your answer would be. But I know what my answer would be, and it's totally different than what everybody else says, and it has nothing to do with the schedule. It has everything to do with the feeling that we're going to have this summer and the freedom that we're going to have. That feels amazing to me. That feels exciting. And like, it's like giving me life. Like, oh my gosh, I could do whatever I actually want to this summer. Like, there's no right way to do it. So I want you to know being a working mom is not easy. But also, every mom is a working mom. Like, whether you work at home or outside of the home, whether you're getting paid for it by like doing a service for other people that are outside of your home, or you're not getting paid for it, it is all hard work. It all requires a ton of physical and mental energy. And I just want you to know you're already doing an amazing job. You're exactly the person that is needed for this job, okay? And your business can succeed while your motherhood is succeeding. And the measure of that is only your own opinion. Your opinion just comes from a decision, okay? It doesn't come from what your mom says. It doesn't come from what you're raised with. It doesn't come from what your church leaders say. You get to decide, what does success look like for me? And you can just decide right now, of course I'm a good mom. And we're not trying to delude you here. I'm just trying to tell you, like, there's no such thing as a good mom. There's no dictionary definition of a good mom. People all over the place will try to tell you what a good mom is, and they all have different opinions. And you get to decide what it means to you. The only thing it means to me is I love my kids and I love myself. I trust my kids and I trust myself. And that's literally it. If I'm not trusting myself, I don't feel like a good mom. I am always a good mom though, because I just decided I am. And when I decide I am, then I behave like a good mom. Then I'm not stressed and I'm not judgmental of myself. It really changes the atmosphere in your home when you just decide, of course I'm a good mom. Like, I'm the perfect mom for these kids. And it's the same thing in your business. When you just decide, my people love me. It like exactly as I am right now, that's exactly who I need to be to make this business successful and growing and like continuing in the way that I want it to go. Like, I'm the perfect person for this. All right, that's all I'm going to say on the matter. I'd love it if you chimed in on Instagram. Just comment on one of my last reels. I'm trying to pair reels with my podcast so people can get a little taste of the podcast and have it lead them into the reel so that they're just connected and we can have this nice conversation. All right. I'm at Thought Boss Coaching on Instagram if you're not following me there, and I will see you tomorrow.
Hey, if you're ready to make your mind a safe and peaceful place to be, I want you to sign up for a free coaching consultation. And together we're going to find out exactly what makes you tick, and we'll heal your relationships with yourself, with God, your business, and other people. Because when you feel good, you can do good. I know that the world is waiting for the special magic that you have to offer. Don't make us wait any longer. Sign up for a one-on-one call with me and become the thought boss of your own life. Go to thoughtbosscoaching.com or find me on Instagram at thoughtbosscoaching.